Smartphone makers are scrambling to launch their 2020 devices following the cancellation of Mobile World Congress in Spain over the coronavirus fears.
And our tech expert Djuro Sen was due to cover the trade show. You were saying it last week, you were all set to go, but...
No paella, no sangria.
No, very disappointing. Barcelona, was one of the great cities of the world. Yes, disappointing, and it really is disappointing for people who love mobile phones and were looking for the next phone to pick up. But in the end, too many companies, as we talked about last week, started pulling out, and they just reached the point of no return. So with a lot of the vendors coming out of China, that was the issue. So they decided that they'd pull up stumps for this year. It would cost, I think it was something like €500 million that it's going to cost the economy of Spain and Europe because it's not on.
And they're
That's
losing
huge.
14,000 part-time jobs for the locals as well. It's extraordinary.
Yeah, so there's so many people that work on Mobile World Congress. It's such a big event for Barcelona. They have it every year. This would have been my 5th year. And as I said, everyone would have been up and close and personal. So I think in the end they probably did the right thing. And calling it off to avoid transmission of coronavirus. Well, it's not the same as being on a ship. And, you know, last week we talked about Jane of the fist bump.
That's it.
That was the way to get through it. But I think we're disappointed not going.
They would obviously, you know, they wouldn't have wanted this choreographed in the manner in which it has worked, but it has worked well for Samsung, hasn't it? Because it's all about advantage, it's all about exposure, and they snuck theirs in with no drama.
Yeah, you've got to think that in life you make your own luck, and they sort of made their own luck. So after they avoided going to Mobile World Congress last year in their launch capacity, they were still there with a booth. But during the week they obviously had a chance to have their launch. And it proved perfect because it was in San Francisco, no restrictions on us attending, and here they are. They launched the flip phone, and it was the answer to the Motorola Razr. Look at everyone in the crowd. They were so pumped. It was a really good launch because they started it straight away with a product, no messing around. So the Z Flip is a bit like the Razr, which we had in here, guys, a couple of weeks ago. This is a much better executed version of the Razr because that thin layer on the screen is actually glass. This sort of defies physics. Wow. Incredible. We'll get into a bit more later. And here is the S20 line, including that massive 100 times zoom on the 108 megapixel camera, which you'll see on the desk in a moment. That is the S20, shooting 8K. And it has this mode where you can press the button once and it takes a series of photos and videos. I should have used it last night on my daughter's birthday. But you can then get a series of moments that, you know, when you think, oh, I want to get a video, I want to get a still, we don't have to worry about it. You can do it all at once. And there's the zoom in action, 100 times.
Show us, because it's amazing.
All right, so here they are on the desk down here, as you can see. Black phones don't look good on TV because of all the fingerprints, but that's the big screen here, or the big array, belongs to the Ultra model. And you can see that...
Well, you can almost film a movie with this camera, huh?
Well, you could. It's 8K, which is just phenomenal. Most TVs now are 4K. We're talking about 8K. It was about 33 megapixels. So you can pick photos out of the video. So you've got the option now. You can just take the video of an event and then pick a still out of it. So I might pass these on and you can have a play with it, but that's the new one. And you can pay between $2,000 and about $2,500. And if you know a bit about computers, the top one can have 16 gigs of RAM. That's like laptop power. And Tim, that's the other one. That's the S20 Plus. So they're really nice phones. Huge advantage for Samsung here. You just cannot overstate how much they will get out of this year because all the other phone companies are scrambling to find a launch event because the world's media was going to be in Spain next week. Now they have to try and do it. Samsung's already done and people are ordering.
And tell us about the actual drama that was on social media about casting the Samsung video, because there was a bit of...
Yeah, so one of the cool things, we saw some great videos on the launch event, and this is included here, but very soon afterwards, this is Sam Evans. He's an Australian, actually, and content creator. Now, that is a shot above San Francisco, and that was shot at 8K, so the details are magnificent, but soon after, some, I guess, clowns on the internet who had reasonable influence started challenging whether he actually shot that because it looked like a drone shot. but I've seen a video of these guys in the chopper shooting this stuff, and I can say that it is legit with AK. Because a couple of years ago, we've seen companies get caught out using DSLRs to promo their phones and their cameras. You can't do that anymore because you can get found out. And just look at the quality of it. It's incredible. And Janie, to your point, you'd almost shoot a video. So I'm shooting this from the back of the room, and that's on the big screen. So it is an amazing stuff. Look, when you start to play with it, I'm going to start to play with it properly next week, and I've got to compare it to the iPhone 11 Pro Max, because that is still, to me, Apple is still the pinnacle of video on a phone.
Alrighty, now when we all started in TV, you used to have to carry the cameraman, the sounder, you had to carry all this gear. Now, to be honest, you can use that right there to report in live from somewhere. You obviously need a...
to connect it to
you need some sort of internet or live view to get you there, but that's the apparatus that'll shoot you, and it's damn good. It's part of the GoPro family.
So if you've got a GoPro Hero 8 and you have a few bucks to spare, about $120, and for the light here, $80, as you can see there. One of the things the GoPro needs is light, because if you don't have light and you don't control your ISO values properly, you will get grainy vision. So now, for the first time, all these other people have been trying to build rigs. GoPro has their own. So this rig here has room for a light. It also has mics front and back, so you can commentate while you're walking. That's been the big issue. Cuts down a wind. And using the Rode Wireless Go microphones, Australian company, about $250, you can then set up your own little portable TV studio. Now, I do lessons for corporates on how to shoot with iPhone for corporate videos. This could be the new way of doing it, because I just think it's so cool. And you know, you've seen how much I like the GoPro Pro Vision. It's pretty cool. So you know. We can get some magnificent pictures like this, but now you can do the interviews and that sort of stuff. So I think a lot of video journalists and people in corporates who want to do videos will be looking at things like this, Janie.
Weekend edition out on the road.
A weekend edition, yeah. I might go and shoot some at your place.
Yeah, absolutely. You're more than welcome to. Yeah. I may only charge a small fee. But it won't be long before the connection's going to be in a phone or something small. So you could probably carry the whole thing in your carry-on bag.
Oh, that's it. I mean, I pretty much have a small bag now. I used to have massive bags. But those phones you've been playing with, they're 5G phones. So 5G is going to change everything. So for TV companies that use multiple SIMs to send a signal out, you'll just need one, because 5G will do it all. We're not quite there yet. We're probably about a year and a half from maximum or peak 5G. But, yeah, the future looks bright and looks pretty cool here.
All right, no Barcelona, but where are you off to next?
I think I'm just going to sit down. Actually, up to Gold Coast. Do a bit of rugby league videoing next week, and then off to Dubbo after that, do some 5G and rugby union sort of combination stories. So, yeah, a bit of local stuff for now.
But to the Roosters winning again this year?
The Roosters, don't talk about the Nines, but yeah, there's a bit to come. No Latrell Mitchell, Janie. So I don't know what we're going to do, but anyway, as long as he beats
well done to the North Queensland Cowboys who did the Nines. Good on you, Djuro. And that is the All-Stars game that you're shooting, the Indigenous All-Stars.
Yeah, we're doing some stuff beforehand, so yeah, it's really interesting. So I'm looking forward to that up at the Gold Coast, catching up with Latrell and the guys. Yeah,
say good day to them all for us. Thanks for that.
Will do. Thanks, guys.